This is our last episode of season 2, and we are going to take a break. So for the summer, I want to make some like travel plans and also to meet friends, maybe go back home. For the next season, we want to do more deep, meaningful conversations. And I also want like this align with our goal, right? To help and to care and to support each other and people surround us, and especially our listeners. So what's your plan?
I'm going to be headed back to Beijing just for a month. I'm also going to be starting my doctorate. I'm going to be studying AI's impact on the future of education. And then in terms of the future of the podcast, definitely want to continue building this community. And hopefully one day we can actually meet our listeners, because I feel like that would be really special.
Hi everyone, welcome to 北腔南调, aka Cultural Collision. I'm Victoria.
I'm Melody.
And we are back for the finale of season 2. It has been an amazing journey, exploring a wide range of topics and engaging in thought-provoking conversations together. So we wanted to use our episode today to reflect on the past episodes and the insights we've gained. We also have some interesting part is we prepared 11 questions to ask each other to know each other better. So for our listeners, you already know Mel and I are very good friends. We hope these 11 questions can prepare for you. You can also ask your significant others, your friends, or someone you want to develop into a relationship. And the goal of this is to get to know each other better. So before we dive into the 11 questions, I have the first question ready for you, Melody. As we reflect on the past year, what were some of the significant and transformative moments that deeply impacted our lives?
I would say one of the most significant decisions that I made this year was to quit my full-time job and take a gap before I continued working. This wasn't something I really ever imagined I would do, because I've always been really, really tied to my work, as stated before in a previous episode. Vic, you and I have never really had a gap in our career. And so it was kind of scary to make that decision. But at the time, I felt like the position that I had with the company was no longer suitable for me. And so I decided to leave without securing a job that would follow. And so that was kind of scary, but it was definitely the best decision that I made this year, because after I left and didn't immediately jump into another job, I had some time to rethink about like what my priorities are in my life and what work means to me in relation to how I live my everyday life. I now work again, which is fantastic. So I actually have income. And I'm able to continue living this very free life because I'm now a freelancer. I'm able to take control of my time, take control of kind of just the projects I'm working on. And so it makes me really happy because I'm able to still prioritize my family and prioritize doing things that I really care about with my current work scope.
I'm so happy to hear that. I remember like when you were creating the job and without securing the next one, I remember like we all had that moment we like have a lot of fear and also anxiety into looking for jobs. But like looking back, you gain a lot. You use that time to think what you really want in your life. And now you're in like a happy stage. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I know. And I really, really thank you, because I was going through a roller coaster of emotions during that time period. And Victoria, you fully supported me through all of my emotions. So, oh my gosh, so incredibly grateful for you.
I will always be there for you. Yeah.
Thanks.
So for me, I think before I mentioned like I moved to Singapore this March, I don't think the moving is the most impactful decision I've made in my life. But after moving to Singapore and exposed to different people in my life, I met different friends and experienced like different work lifestyle, and also seeing people around me have a different lifestyle. Let me thinking about like what is family? What's the definition of home, and what's the definition of friendship? I think those things are the most impactful moments in my life for the past couple months after I moved to Singapore. So I still don't have an answer, but I think is something worth me to keep looking into and to explore.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you and happy to see like where you are at right now as well. Cause I also know, the move to Singapore was very different. And being in a new environment, trying to find your own community there was kind of challenging in the beginning. But to see you thriving right now and having such a wonderful community makes me so happy as well.
Yeah, I think it's really hard like when you move to a different place, different country, especially when you are like a grow up woman. And it's really hard to find your community, to find what you're passionate at in a totally different country with limited people. You only know a bunch of people from work. But I think is overall is a like very interesting experience.
And it'll only get better and better. So for the next question, I wanted to like reflect on the podcast for this season. How do you think our perspectives have evolved or changed throughout this season? And are there specific episodes or conversations that stand out in terms of personal growth or shifts in your thinking?
We are a little different from the season one. And for this season, we invite a lot of like our friends to the show and be our guest speakers. Each guest speaker we have from season one and season two, they're all very amazing and we learn a lot from them. For this season, I think the topics are more like mature and more surrounded to people we really dive into a deeper conversation. I really hope the conversation can help and to help our listeners also help us as well. As for the conversation stand out, I will think I don't have an answer.
I know they were all so good.
Yeah, I think because from each episode, we can learn so different. Start from Leslie, and she's amazing young woman and also a startup, like a female entrepreneur startup. It's just she's so inspiring. And then from like the freezing egg to the LGBTQ and also to the talk about death. There's so many episodes. Each one, like I'm thinking right now, I can just like playing a movie in my head. And I really love like each episode of all the like recordings we have done. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's really, really hard to pinpoint a specific episode that I really love from this season, just because I feel like every single one was so meaningful. And, I've stated this before over and over again. I feel like the people who've benefited most from these conversations is definitely us, just because you and I are the ones who are coming up with the questions. We're the ones asking the questions during the interview. And during each episode is actually usually like an hour conversation that we cut down to only half an hour when it's published. So really the content is amazing. And I just feel like we're so lucky to be surrounded by people who are so willing to share their insights. I feel like every episode has been really great. So I've truly enjoyed this season just because I feel like we've been able to explore topics outside of kind of our scope of understanding and dig into other people's brains.
Also, one thing I want to share is I think a couple of our guest speakers from this season, they all mentioned something like they really appreciate being on our podcast. And also they appreciate we are doing this is because more than us, right? We want to tell everybody if you are suffering or you have like challenge, you feel anxiety and fear, we all have the same feeling. And don't be worried. We're really trying to help the people are on our age or maybe like younger generations. So we've been through what you are probably having right now. So I really hope this whole season can help you and find a better like balance in your life and like your inner peace.
Definitely. All right. Now, moving on to some quick questions that we put together to get to know each other better, but also for our listeners to get to know us better, and also maybe questions that our listeners can take away and ask their friends to know your friends and community members a little bit better. So let's dive into it. Has life been hard on you so far?
This is a really tough question. So I don't want to say yes or no. Also depends on how you view it. So I think the people who know me really well, I think they will think the answer is yes coming out of my mouth. But really for me, I'll think everything happened as a reason. And also looking back to what happened for the first like 30 years, I don't think life has been hard to me because I know everybody has a difficult past. where like everybody has a difficult life, but I enjoy the life so far. So I think that's my answer. How about you?
I would say life has not been difficult for me for the most part as well. I feel like I just feel very, very supported by family and friends and just community members. And so even though there are multiple challenges and obstacles that I faced, it's just so nice to know that I have such a strong support system. And so in that sense, I feel like life has not been so challenging.
Okay, so the second question is, would you rather live in a country that was too hot all the time or freezing cold all the time?
Definitely freezing cold all the time. I cannot deal with the heat at all. Like,
Oh my God. Like I think you would say like that was too hot, like hot all the time.
that I would live in a country that's hot.
Yeah.
No, I would like break out in hives, just be sweating and just be incredibly uncomfortable. I think I love the cold because one, I was born in winter in Jersey. And so like even though I wasn't actually born in the snow, I was born during like snowy season. And then second, I grew up a figure skater. So like I spent hours and hours on the ice every single day growing up. So I'm just very used to the cool temperature. But a lot of people do think that I would prefer hot just because I grew up in sunny California. But the part of California that I grew up in was actually up on the hill. So it wasn't super hot where I was either. It was kind of cool temperatures, like around 60 degrees, which I think is like around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. So very comfortable weather. And I think that's my preferred temperature. Like right now in Taiwan, it's 34 degrees Celsius, and I'm just dying.
I think you know my answer.
You would like hot for sure because you're always out in the sun. You love to surf and everything. I
Yeah, also
know.
like I think also because I born in like August in summer. I can't imagine living in the freezing cold place because I feel like winter. I love winter. I love four seasons. Like I like different seasons of life are different, right? But like if you're living in a freezing cold place all the time, I feel like you got depressed. There's not much you can do outdoor.
No, but cold times is like cuddle season.
That's true. That's true.
And then also when it's cold, I feel like you can wrap up. You can wear more clothes outside so then you can feel comfortable. But when it's hot, it's like you can't do anything.
But you can wear less. You can get tanned.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, the next interesting question is, what would you like to eat for your last meal?
Ooh, for my last meal, definitely something to do with potatoes and cheese. Maybe a baked potato I would love, or like French fries with cheese melted on top, or like a hash brown with cheese melted on top. Those are my favorite two foods. So definitely a mixture of those two. How about you?
I'm thinking right now it's like Beijing duck because I
Mm.
when I was in Beijing, I regularly eat probably every 1 or 2 months, and I haven't eaten for a long time. I think that was something like I will eat like if that was the last meal of my life.
That's a good one. If I have a part two, I would choose hot pot.
Yeah, that's nice too. Yeah.
And I would want to have like joga so that I can have all of the flavors, like spicy. I can have coconut, Thai, and all of the flavors.
Oh my God, I love it.
All right. How do you usually release stress?
I think for me, exercise is one of the way helps a lot because like when you exercise, you can have dopamine, right? So it's like from biology, it can make you happy and release the stress. And also the other way is talk to my friends. I gain energy from talking to my friends and then reading. Yeah. How about you?
Exercise is definitely up there. I think another one is just listening to music because I'm an introvert. And so if I were to go out while I'm stressed, I think I would feel more tired. And so in order to recharge, I have to be by myself and then just playing really, really sad music in the background to kind of like sulk in my feelings and allow myself to feel every emotion in my body. Finally, I think reading as well, because it allows me to enter another world.
Yeah, totally agree. What do you fear about getting older?
I think I fear my body breaking down. Last year, I just had so many body problems. Like my bones would hurt, my back would hurt, my muscles would be sore. And I think it's just from not moving a lot and just from working at my computer all day, all the time. So that's something I'm kind of worried about. Recently, I've realized that my sleep schedule is not very good if I go out. Just, my body is not able to jump back as fast. And that's what I fear about because if my body is not working, that's going to impact my day-to-day activities.
I think sleeping is a huge deal in our life. That's something we should like really take good care of ourselves. I think for me, before actually like if you asked me this question last year, I don't feel fear about getting old. But
Mhm.
right now I'm thinking because I moved to a different country with like knowing like different people and having like seen people have different goals in their life. I'm more like fear about pursuing my goal and the purpose of my life and worry if I get older, I don't know what I truly want. And that's something like terrifies me.
Yeah. But there's never an end goal. It's just kind of a journey. You're in the middle of a chapter right now, but not the end of the book.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
Oh, Italy. I don't know why this word just came to my mind and I want to travel to Italy so
Yeah.
much. I
Yeah.
don't have a reason behind this. I just want to go. What about you?
I highly recommend it. I mean, I think Italy, it's filled with so much culture. And also, every single city is so different as well. So, just being in that one country alone, you're going to have so much fun. If I could live anywhere in the world for a year, let me think. I would want it to be a year where I'm not working and I can just really enjoy nature. And so, in that sense, I'm kind of thinking New Zealand at the moment because New Zealand is so beautiful. I feel like there's not much to do there other than looking at the kiwis, and I would be able to just enjoy nature.
I feel like I'm gonna be so bored.
You're right. You're right. Okay. Maybe I should choose another place. I just want to be somewhere where I can like hike all the time and just explore all of the like national canyons or whatever and be like, check, I've completed all of the mountains this year. If anybody has any idea where that would be, please let me know.
Oh, that's the question. The next question is actually I asked the friends around me lately is what motivates you to get up every morning?
This is such a good question. I was recently watching a YouTube video by Charlie Chang. He's a YouTuber. He provides advice on how you can make millions of dollars by just being very motivated, by being very driven, and just working really hard. Right. And then he says that anybody can do it. And for him, he wakes up every single morning at 4:52. And so by 12 o'clock, he's already basically done with his day. Like he's already worked out 3 times. He does stuff at home, then he goes to the gym, and then he goes running outside. And then, by 12 o'clock, I think, yeah, he's already like done 2 hours of work as well. And what motivates him to wake up every single morning is actually going to the gym and working out because he feels so energetic. And then after completing this task, he feels very excited to go on about his day to, actually do the work and to cook and just go about the rest of his day. So he says that finding something that motivates you to wake up every morning is very important in order to get the ball moving. And for me, I honestly am it's so sad, but I actually quite enjoy my work right now. So right now we build a lot of programs that enterprises and different organizations can use and launch. And these programs all address some kind of sustainable development goal that the UN has set. And so for me, it's quite exciting to be able to collaborate with these organizations and to be able to build these programs that have some good in the world. I really enjoy my team members and I actually feel like we're making an impact. So that quite motivates me to wake up every morning. How about you?
It's not sad at all. Like, don't ever be ashamed of like the reason you motivates you to get up every morning. I love that. I think if you can find a job you really enjoy and the people you really admire to work with, that's something like very hard. Yeah. I honestly don't have the answer, but like there is a answer from a friend I want to share. So she has become a mom last year, and she shared the motivation for her to get up every morning is to become a better mom for her son. So
Mm,
when I heard this, I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And And then it makes me like thinking about what I want to wake up every morning, like what's the reason behind this, what motivates me. But after hearing you sharing the story about the YouTuber, like something I'm really looking forward to was I enjoy is also to work out every day, just not in the morning. But maybe something like that is I still need to figure out the answer.
Yeah, it's okay. And I think it takes time. And also, it changes all the time as well. Another thing that motivates me to get up in the morning is definitely coffee.
Oh, I love that too. Yeah. Yeah. That's a coffee in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, what would you like to change about yourself?
I want to not be as like OCD about things. I think I tend to overanalyze and overthink about a lot of things. And it's very overwhelming. Most of the time, it doesn't matter. And most of the time, it will resolve itself. But for me, I like to think about every problem or every issue from every perspective. And then, like, it just takes me a lot of time and energy. So that's something I need to get a little bit better at, just like trusting nature, trusting the system, and trusting other people in order for my brain not to go insane.
I like when we work together, right? So we work on the projects together. I love your OCD because you're so sophisticated. You're really like thought of everything, every detail. And I think the people who worked with you before really loved you about it. So yeah, that's some like new perspective for me. For me, I don't know. It's not
Because
because
you're
like I
perfect.
it's not because I'm perfect. It's just like I think enjoy who I am right now. And of course we're not perfect. We have like the flaws, we have like bad habits, right? But now I think none of those have a big influence or like bad influence on me. So I really cannot think of like something I really want to change. Oh, next question is like interesting. What has been your best moment this year so far?
Ooh, I think I really enjoyed my trip to California once again. So I went in May and went to Napa with my childhood friends. Like we've known each other since we were 5 and been best friends since. And surprisingly, that was kind of one of our first trips together. Like we always hung out in our town that we grew up together, and we would go on a lot of family trips, a lot of school trips and stuff, and we would always see each other during the holidays when we returned back home. But I think this was one of our first trips together that was planned. And so that was really, really special. I think that was the best moment just to see our friendship still so strong after like 25 years.
I think that's the beauty of like travel together with your friends, with someone you love, right?
Mm-hmm. How about you? What's been your best moment this year?
So speaking of like travel, right? And also very like I went to Bali in April. I don't think like Bali is so special. Bali is like not well organized. The traffic is so bad. And even though it's not like very clean city or like clean place, but I don't know why I enjoy the trip so much. And that's like, and I love this place so much. And also, yes, I tried surfing in the real ocean the first time in my life. The experience, I cut myself, like I cut myself and I had a lot of bruises on my legs. But like looking back, I was thinking back, I really enjoyed the trip to Bali. I think that's like one of the best moments in my life for this year so far.
Aw, and your photos were amazing from your trip. All right. So earlier you asked what we would change about ourselves, but what do you love most about yourself?
That's a hard question as well. Because you don't want people to think you're like,
A narcissist. Yeah. How about we say what we like most about each other?
I like that better.
I think what I love most about you, Victoria, is that you are so caring and thoughtful. Like, even if you're really busy, you always open up time to be there for people that you care about. You not only like open up that space and time to care about them, but you're truly present and you're fully there in that moment. I feel like you really allow yourself to feel the emotions of the other person as well. And you allow the other person to feel really heard and loved.
Oh, I'm so touched. I think I love you for all of the things you're like, you open yourself to others. And I remember like we have the season 1 and you really shared your story and your deepest like fear and anxiety. And you open to different things as well. Even though you're introvert, right? but I still feel like you are so energetic and like a California girl, you're like sunshine, and to shine your smile to everybody else and influence people in a good way. And also be honest with yourself. I love all characters about you.
My heart is so touched.
Ooh. So the last question we have for each other and end of this 11 quick questions is how do you like to be comforted when you are sad or upset?
Sometimes food, but honestly, if I'm like super, super upset, then food doesn't really do me justice. I think somebody to just listen to why I'm sad, somebody just to be there with me. And maybe I'm not even talking, but that person is just there and understanding my emotions. That's how I like to be comforted. It's kind of hard. I feel like I can only be comforted by somebody who actually knows me, because if I'm sad or upset, I wouldn't want to open myself up to somebody that I don't know. So in that sense, I would just want to be by myself or just be in the comfort of my own home with somebody that knows me well. And so they can kind of just support me as I need, whether that be talking or just, being there in silence and not doing anything. How about you?
Yeah, I feel you. So for me, I think it will be similar. Is someone close to me, someone I loved or someone loved me. So I think be there and listen to me, or even just like you don't need to talk. Just be there for me, and a hug will definitely help.
All right. So that concludes the quick questions. I think that was really fun. It allowed me to get to know you better, Victoria. And I feel like it's just some of the things we kind of already knew, but also some of the things were funny and like we didn't know about each other as well. So it was definitely really interesting to have that conversation, a quick little game. So as we take a break for the summer, what are some of your goals and aspirations that you have? And what are your goals for the podcast as well?
Yeah, so our listener might know this is our last episode of season 2, and we are going to take a break like we did usually. So for the summer is more like traveling season, and probably on to make some like travel plans and also to meet friends, maybe go back home. Yeah, I don't have like big plans ahead of me for like summer, but I think for the next season we want to do more deep, meaningful conversations. And I also want like this align with our goal, right? To help and to care and to support each other and people surround us, and especially our listeners. So what's your plan?
This summer, actually next month, I'm going to be headed back to Beijing just for a month for work. And then I'm also going to be starting my doctorate. So I recently got accepted to a doctorate program. I'm going to be studying kind of AI's impact on the future of education. And so if any of our listeners are interested in this field, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I would love to have a conversation about this. And then in terms of the future of the podcast, I think very aligned with Victoria in the sense that definitely want to continue building this community. And hopefully one day we can actually meet our listeners, because I feel like that would be really special.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. So before that, I want to say like the AI of the future education, we definitely want to talk about it during our next season. And also, yes, so Mel and I discussed about holding like offline meetups. We hope to meet our listeners from like different parts of the world, or maybe like just like online sessions. So in the modern days, we do a lot like online sessions. We can talk to each other. We can know each other better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this concludes season 2 of our podcast. And we wanted to take a moment to thank all of our listeners. We received so much love and support from all of you. And we really want to express our gratitude for your continued engagement. Your questions and comments have really sparked enlightening discussions and challenged us to grow over the past year. Whether you've been with us from the very beginning or just joined our podcast recently, we're really, really happy and just grateful that you're here with us today. So this is it. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to share with your friends, family, and community members, and also reach out to us. Add us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn, reach out to us on social media. We would love to chat. And until next time, chat soon. Bye.
Bye.